Shalom v'acha, ma shlomchem. We are in the portion Shelach, send. This portion is, again, it's amazing portion. It's a wonderful portion. Well, of course, probably every portion I'm telling you it's a wonderful portion. Of course, if we...
It's always the most special and unique portion.
But again, really, Mordechai, if we do agree, we need to agree that there is God. God exists,
and if one and only.
And if he's the artist of this beautiful art called creation, of course, everything that will come out of him will be
amazing,
splendid, almost like the steak we talked about just earlier.
Right? Almost like that. Yeah. So it's getting close. Yeah.
So in this portion, what's happening? It's time. Israel, the Israelites in the desert with Moses, looking at the country of Canaan, Israel, to become Israel.
To enter into the land of Israel.
They're waiting to enter.
They're waiting to get the word.
And then God is saying to Moses those words. God spoke to Moshe, saying, "Send out men for yourself to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel." Well, I'll stop here. There's a question that the Lubavitcher Rebbe is asking, and some other places in the Torah. Why God need to send men to explore Israel? He promised them that he's going to take them to, the land of honey and milk, they say.
Milk and honey, yeah.
Milk and honey, like paradise. Why does he need to send men to explore? Well, that's an interesting insight.
It's a very interesting question,
Yeah, that men... in our nature, before we going to enter a place, to challenge, to take mesima, how do you say mesima?
A mission.
To take a mission upon ourselves, we want to check it. Even though God promised the Holy Land to Moshe, and Moshe is talking to God, saying, I think we need to send men so they can explore the land of Canaan.
He wanted to give him some confidence. He wanted that the mission was obviously to go in and to say that not only is it the land of milk and honey, but it's a land that God gave to us, and it's a land that has all the blessings from top to bottom, and that you can see as any time the Jews have lived in Israel in its fullness, all the blessings come out up to this very day. It's amazing, you can see it with your own eyes. You got to come to visit us and see it. Me and Ayel will take you around, definitely.
Yes. So, in different words, we're saying that a man, before he's going to see something, even if he's been promised that this land is going to be good, God knows our ways, and in order to relax us, so he's saying to Moses, you can send men to yourself. But the idea was that those men will get into the land and they will see the promise of God in front of their eyes. But something happened, and we'll dwell into it soon. So that's the issue, and they're sending like 12 head tribes, like princesses, like the head of the tribes, the leaders,
a prince of each tribe, the head,
and they were like
head honcho.
Amazing. They were holy. They were everything, but something went wrong. They entering Israel. They're supposed to walk a distance of 400 parsa. I would say parsa. It's about 3.5 miles. Duplicated by 400, it's like enormous space. But God made the way to be end in 40 days. Why? Because he knew they're going to miss out in this assignment, in this mission. They missed out. Something happened. They came back with information, but something went wrong. And today we're going to dwell with it and to see how dangerous sometimes it is to go away from the truth, or to put your own assumptions or idea, or usually we tend to jump to conclusions too fast, and we don't read the picture, the scenario right. We'll come back to it. And as they're going into the land, then they're seeing a land like big grapes, big like olives, everything is so big, and then they see giants, and those giants were whispering between them, all of those ants walking in our fields, and it was them. And then they saw as well that it's a country that buries its
inhabitants.
So they saw people burying people. So they looking at all those sides, all those
They caught
pictures.
all the negative energy.
And instead of seeing the good, they saw the negativity. And when they came back to Moses, so they're talking Lashon Hara about that land.
That's an amazing thing, that we can all learn from, that two people can see the same thing, and one sees the blessing and one sees the curse.
Absolutely.
And that's so incredible, that we have the blessing of the Lubavitcher Rebbe to see, that everything he looks at and every way he looks at things is all light and positivity.
Yes.
Instead, unfortunately, some people look at things and they look at the darkness. They don't see the light.
Absolutely. So, in this matter, what happened there? When they coming back, Rabbi Mordechai said that, it's very important, like, that you will see in a positive way. And someone see darkness, someone see positive. Only 2 of those 12 men saw positive. And it's interesting because the Torah gives us insight and understanding to walk with today in our daily life. Before the 2 people called Yeshua ben Nun veKalev ben Yefune. Yeshua, before that, called his name was Hoshea. Before he's going on this mission to explore the land, to scout the land, meaning like to be like a tourist, just to go inside to say, wow, we saw this, we saw that, without giving your own subjective interpretation.
But to be also an emissary of God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, in order to have the power to see reality for what it is and not through your subjective eyes, you need, I would say, a boost, empowerment. Like, you need to be a vessel, to be in such mindfulness that will allow you not to be attracted to the negativity. In any scenario in your life, in any relationship. Sometimes you drive in a bus and you see a picture and you start to translate the facts that you see. You're having a certain assumptions. You jump into conclusions. And you can just sit in your balcony and you're seeing a person talk in front of the bus, and suddenly you see the bus going away. So you can, saying, oh God, man, this bus just, ran out on this person, poor darling. On the contrary, when you'll go into the picture and you'll see the facts for what they are, you'll realize that this person was giving direction to the bus driver. Not the bus driver is going away from this person. In order to have this power, Moses is blessing Hoshea ben Nun with the letter Yud. The letter Yud, according to Kabbalah, symbolizing wisdom and nullification. Wisdom and nullification. To nullify. To nullify what? Nullify, thank you. To nullify what? Those 12 men entered the country, and Kalev ben Yefune went to the graves of the fathers to pray that they will make him wise not to go with what those
to be
men
influenced
by the group,
by the negativity of them,
by the negativity of them. Yeah. So one is praying on Kivrei Tzadikim, and that's an amazing insight to take into our life. Sometimes our life is going wrong. Our school, our merit, the art of our fathers, the art of who we are. It's to go and pray and to connect to the tzaddik, to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, to go to 770. Some going to Uman. It doesn't matter, but just to connect to a tzaddik and to pray on their graves, to come and to ask for their help. And Moses himself, the prophet, gives Hoshea Yud the power of wisdom and nullify. Yeshua and Kalev were the only one that came back and saw the country for what it is really, as God promised, the land of
milk and honey. They also didn't see the limitations that the other ones saw, because they were looking through the eyes of God to see the blessings that came out, and therefore, if you look for the blessings, you find the blessings.
Absolutely. And let's go and see, like I explained before with the bus, how those 12 men entering Israel, and when they're seeing the pictures, the sight, the scenarios they saw, how they translate it. So, for example, when they arrived to the big grapes, so Yeshua and Caleb said, "Oh, wow, amazing! Check out this land, it's so rich, like, look what's coming out of the land." And the others said, like, "Wow, this is too big. How can we handle this kind of a big fruit?" And when they saw giants...
They didn't rely on God.
Exactly.
They rely on their own intellect. That's
exactly, their own wisdom. Their own wisdom.
Yeah, their intellect, unfortunately, tricked them. And they got sucked into this terrible thing.
And another picture, another side that we all see it in our daily life sometimes. Yeah. Then they saw the giants, like the giant people, and they say, "Wow, how can we conquer them?" And like they knew that those giants came from angels that fell from the sky, and they breed up, and they were giants, and like they covered the whole sun. They were like the size of a mountain. So they were saying, "How are we going to overcome those people?"
Right.
And just think how severe it is, and how it was, how to say, a lack of trust and faith with God, which is the trial of each and every one of us. To trust God, even if we see reality as a giant coming to overcome us, to believe in the good and that we will be successful. That if God took us through the sea, sorry, Mordechai, if God took them through the sea, splitted the sea, took them out of Egypt, brought water out of the rock, and they were still like doubting that it would...
And stiff-necked people, the Jewish people.
The Lubavitcher Rebbe is saying something here amazing. We can talk on and on, but one saying from the Lubavitcher Rebbe says everything.
So it's very interesting when an obstacle is put in front of you, and no matter what it is, it can appear to you like a mountain. It can appear to you like a giant, like totally, encompassing. You don't know what to do. It's an obstacle, but you know what? If you realize that Hashem is with you, and the obstacle is only there to make you be able to get to a higher place and get to a higher connection, so the obstacle won't become something to stop you. On the contrary, it will become something to elevate you. And that's, what the two good leaders showed us.
Beautiful. So in the next side, they saw a country that bury its own people.
Inhabitants,
inhabitants. They saw lots of death. And they say, "Look what's going on here. Wars, diseases. Why to come from the desert into Israel? We don't need it." But what God did, He made sure that they'll have like accidents, and everyone will be busy with their deads. So those 12 important men, the prince of each tribe, can go just like tourists in the land, with no disturbance, no frictions, no tension, no fear. But they saw different. Now here, I want to give a suggestion, an insight. To be happy in our relationship, it's to be able to communicate properly. Our challenge here, it's to remember what happened to those men. They saw certain scenarios, and instead of to hold for a minute and to refine, to observe, to think, wait, I see, my mind say like that, but really, what is the mind of the Torah? What's God is saying here? What was God's attention? Like sometimes we're seeing scenarios and we're jumping into conclusions. We have our own interpretations, assumptions.
Right.
Like that, the communication is being blocked. So when you see a scenario, remember, and there's a friction in your relationship, sometimes with your husband, sometimes with your wife, sometimes with the children, sometimes at work. Before you're going all to an whole journey, and you will return with so much negativity, like they came back to Moses with so much negativity
Terrible
on the
reports,
Israel.
yeah.
Terrible reports. All due to their assumptions. They didn't see the whole picture. We need to remember, I see a picture, I see a scenario right now, we went through something between us. We need to remember to hold for a minute and to check that we're talking the facts that we saw, that we see, and not what we think.
Don't jump to conclusions.
Not our conclusions or our assumptions.
Right.
So here in this story, the fact that the Israelites standing outside of Israel and wanting to enter the country of Canaan and to turn it into Israel, that's the mission of each soul in Israel. We came here to this world to turn Canaan, our midot, our inner midot, our attributes, to Israel. Israel straight to God, to fill them with meaningful, that I would say, with meaning, with mashmaut.
With the special power that the midot is all our behavioral characteristics, that they can now bring something out from them that can actually bring a person to a very, very high place, a very special place.
And we're supposed to enlighten ourselves and others, but that will be very difficult if we do not really being mindful and in awareness, like observation, like meditation.
Mm-hmm.
See how when you see a scenario, when you hear something from someone, lashon hara, how you fall into conclusions and assumptions. Let's try to stop with that, and before we coming and accusing or blaming someone, we first see the facts for what they are, and then ask, what was your attention?
First, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. First, we give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we can analyze it a little bit. We can look into it. We can see and say, really, well, this person's really a good person. This person really has good intentions. Sometimes it goes astray. Sometimes it's not exactly played out the way that it's meant to be. But okay, let's try to first of all come to a happy conclusion and try to make the best of everything.
Amen. So further, we expanded on that mission of those men into Israel, but when they coming back and they're saying what they said, and then God's bringing a plague upon the people, he wants to really, how to say, wipe most of the people of Israel, and then Moshe is facing God, telling him, you serious? You want to destroy them? You took them all the way from Egypt to bring them into the desert in order to kill them? What the other nations will say. It's very interesting how the dialogue talks to God and to us as well. Sometimes we can talk to our Father. We can talk to our King. Really coming like it's a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like Moshe is coming, come on, Papa, are you serious? What the other people, not that we care what other people say, but here, there's your story. You are creation.
Right,
what people will learn.
What other people are going
to exactly say, to think about. And then God is forgiving the sons of Israel, and only some of them that really went, how to say, full into the story of interpretations got killed. And then later on, God is explaining when someone is doing a mistake, what he's supposed to do, a certain sacrifice. And it ends by the portion. We see that something very bad happened, but it ends with the mitzvah of tzitzit. That's the end of this portion. And tzitzit it was. Tzitzit really, it says in the scriptures that it's to protect yourself. It's protection. And it's adding like positive energy in the universe and working against negativity. Those four corners they are parallel to 4 stars. There are 7 stars. 3 of them are in the behalf of the Israelites. 4 of them are in the behalf of other nations. Each star brings 2 kinds of energy, positive and negative, into reality. Those 4 corners of the tzitzit are against the 4 stars that belongs to other nations that draw negativity into earth. And the holiness of the tzitzit and all the secrets within it are like codes in order to break, to clear that energy. And so, darkness and light will be balanced, and light will come over darkness. So thank you very much.
And by the way, anybody who comes to Ascent and wants to take upon themselves the mitzvah of tzitzit, I have a pair for you here.
Free of charge.
No charge.
Wow.
Just take
amazing.
it. And
free.
And definitely it's a tremendous guarding for somebody physically and spiritually. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and with God's help,
good on you, Rabbi.
All the Jewish people should be guarded.
Yes, amen. See you in the next portion. And between us parentheses, I just realized about 7 minutes ago that I forgot to link the mic. So just maybe this recording is going to be okay. So enjoy it. Bye.